Grab this, grab my Bluetooth. Oh fuck. Fat ass. Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh, look at you, you little fat ass. Little fat ass. Oh my god, there's another one over there. Man, they're active over here. Chasing him around. Little dick. I see you right there. Oh. Oh my god. What are you doing? What are you doing, my dude? You furry little fucking psycho, what are you doing? What's going on here again? Oh my god. Little fat ass. Little chunk. God, they're ridiculous. Little fat ass. Just a little chunk. Oh. Well, hi, little guy. And you're a supreme fat ass, too. You're just a little mini. Little mini fat ass. Just a little literal ball. What type of bird are you? Zook off down. I want to check you out. What are you? What are you, little dude? It's right off the edge. There you are. Hey, you little round ball. Oh my god. Rounder than hell. Look at you. Look at you, little guy. I've seen that bird before. Oh. Squirrel came back. Oh my god, if the window was fucking open, I'd totally pet it right there. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fucking try it. I don't even care. Oh, you jerk. What a little prick. Come on. Come on. Oh my god. I could. It feels closer. Nope. It spotted me. a bunch of fucking goofs. These critters are ridiculous. Squirrels, man. They're absurd, but so cute. Make it? Oh my god, little bandito. Totally knocked the fuck out. Oh, alright, it's cold in here. Nice and cold outside. My goodness. My goodness. No. Fuck. Okay, yep, it is chillier than chill. It is chiller than chill. Oh my goodness. Chiller than chill. Cold as fuck, yeah. Down. Cold as fuck. Circa. Circa. Come on. Oh my god, look at you. Look at you. Your fucking face, bro. You get so excited. You just go nuts and it's cute. It's ridiculous. Try to get the gloves on me here. A little more. Oh god, I am cold. It is cold in here. That I can confirm. It'd be cold, the cold's fucking you. Whoa! What's this fucking doing out? Don't need that out. Right. I'll just like this. Nice and slid right now. Whoop. Okay, I guess it's nice to know that I can pull the bolt back with one hand without intentionally doing it. If only it was a pump action, then I can see if I could just do that. But I don't think that is feasible with a semi-automatic with bolts on the side. I don't think that works. Actually, let's see if it'll fit inside this here. So that'll be perfect. Let's have secure in here. Oh, I can't fit it. Damn. Damn. That is most unfortunate. But well, it will be just chilling there for now. Let's move this right there. There we go. Chilly, chilly, chilly. Gotta warm myself up in here, damn. Can I help you, buddy? Can I help you? Of course. Exactly. That's what I thought. Look at you. You're absurd. Oh my goodness. I was actually gonna see whatever happened to the kiddo from yesterday. That kid ever finally get out? Let's see. Well, it looks like all the looks like all of these streams are done. What's going on? This is a bunch of celebration? Oh no, it does look like they actually did. Did they? I can't tell. I'm gonna skip near the very end of this. Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. They got him. This is like a few hours ago, too. Yeah, I mean, I can't see him because he's in a crowd of a bunch of dudes, but yeah, they got the kid. Cool. I figured that by the time I wake up and do this, it'll probably have already been done. Yeah, I guess just for confirmation, is there like an article or something about that? What? He's died? What the fuck? What? Okay, where's it like this? So it doesn't even like give any like updates or anything. It's just like, yeah, there's reports the kid's dead now. It's like, what the fuck, man? After all of this shit, are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Like this can't like that can't actually be like after all of that, and then it's like, yeah, the kid's dead. Like, are we serious? Are we fucking kidding me? What the fuck? That's super sad. Yeah, dude. I came in here and I saw like one of the live streams that ended. I'm like, oh, they must have gotten them out. I'm looking at the end of it, and it looks like they're all fucking like freaking out and celebrating shit. I'm like, oh, did they get them? And then I'm like, let's look at some articles to confirm this. And then like everything's like, he died. I'm like, what? No. God damn it, man. They pulled him out about 9 minutes ago. Well, I guess they got him, but fuck, bro. I was kind of hoping it would be kind of like, alright, you know, and be a nice little... It wasn't known until the ambulance drove away. Oh, man. So all those people who initially pulled him out were actually celebrating, you know, out of legit, like, yeah, we got him, but once they actually fucking, yeah, but once they actually got him in an ambulance and legit medical personnel can evaluate him, it was... Damn, dude. Fuck. He was alive last night. I know! The hell? God, son of a bitch, dude. I came in, like, I was, like, chilling, you know, kind of getting my shit over here, and I was seeing squirrels because they're all being fucking psychos right now. They're being aggressive with each other for nuts, and then I'm like, alright, I'll come in here and remind myself, like, oh shit, what happened to that kid? And, my day was going okay so far. Man. Son of a bitch. It's like, it's a moment of respite away from the bullshit, and it ends up just being some more bullshit. It's like, God damn. This timeline sucks. It just does. We can't have nice things, man. What the hell? Is just no one destined to have nice things anymore? We can't just have a legitimately decent fucking story that all ends up in a nice little bow. Like, I'm legit disappointed. Like, seriously, I'm like saddened by this. It's like, man, god damn. And it seemed like they were like legit. Like, it seemed like last night they were like within an hour or so from getting the kid, and I wake up like initially at like 10. I'm like, eh. I saw like a live stream recommended to me. I tuned in for like 30 seconds, and it still looked like they were pretty much in the same position, but inside this time. So there were cameras inside that time when I tuned in for a bit. And I was like, oh, they're still getting the kid. Okay. Kind of go sleep a little bit again, and woke up around noon, and I was like, still a live stream? And it looked like it was nearing the end of them from the looks of it, because everybody was huddled way up front. I was like, huh, maybe they, you know, either are about to get the kid or, you know, are just acquiring him. I wasn't thinking too much of it at the moment. But at least with the articles I'm seeing about it so far, they ain't saying much. They're just saying that the kid's just unfortunately not alive anymore. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, they're all within an hour or 30 minutes old. So I'm gonna see, is there like anything more specific on it? Or is it just nothing else right now? Yeah, it's not really. NBC is the first site I see to report stuff. Yeah. Like, I just type boy in well Morocco, and for news, there's like New York Times, CNN, Fox, just all, the all big generic shit. Al Jazeera at least tries to make it a little less blunt. Rescuers extract body of Moroccan boy trapped in well for 5 days. It's like, alright, Al Jazeera. So at least they're not as blunt about it, I guess. Rescuers reach 5-year-old boy stuck in Morocco, stuck in well. So, not like some of these articles aren't. Maybe might have like been posted just before the information came out, but some of them are saying that he was distracted, but not saying he was dead or not. But some of them are. So, man, that's some salt. That's some salt for the wounds. I mean, all in all, considering that they're able to give him a little bit of grub, or at least, be able to get stuff to him, you'd think you'd be able to be at least okay when it came to that, but I'm guessing maybe it was probably due to some injuries, or maybe an infection. I mean, that'd be my only guess, outside of just exposure, but I don't know. I don't, like... It definitely just feels like it should have, I mean, considering how everybody was all, like, really, hoping to get real close and shit, it's just like, I don't know, it just seems like, what the fuck? That's why maybe a little bit of urgency, or, like, quicker plan probably, I mean, I guess, it's hindsight, I suppose, but... Little sleepy boy. Okay, let's see here. Well, what other bullshit's going on that could probably at least not soil moods. Charlie Kirk thinks trans people are a Trojan horse for cyborgs. Awesome. Cool. Dope. I mean, I kind of 10 trillion prayers for lol. For nada. Yeah. I mean, that's why I, always kind of find, like, whole thoughts and prayers thing kind of just silly, because everybody, setting in, like, the blue hearts, or, all these different, things about, like, the prayers and stuff, it's just like, well, I guess the tots and prayers, unfortunately did not help again. 0 to, however many wins, that tots and pairs have, lost against. It's just like, I mean, that's why I was just hoping, like, the crews, would just probably hurry the fuck up a little bit, because, I mean, I feel like if, they weren't, like, I get the risks, trying to speed things up, but it's just like, I mean, especially if you got, like, a little 5-year-old in a well, like, time's in the essence, so it's like, can't spend, like, I mean, again, like, I get risks, factors, and all this other shit, but, I mean, especially when they were getting closer and closer, to the point where they were really, almost there, I felt like, could have been sped up just a little bit to try to, get them out quicker, considering how close they were, but I'm guessing there was probably legitimately just too many risk factors, I guess, I don't know. But man, like, all that fucking, like, work to get him out, and it's like, well, he's unfortunately not really kicking no more. It's like, god damn it. So I kind of want, like, Charlie Kirk's fucking, you know, weird ass, like, oh, trans people before cyborgs, Trojan horse. It's like, alright, let's fucking do that, so then we can, you know, like, use this crazy ass fucking, like, cyborg technology and shit, you know, for fucking people. That's what took all night, our night, to get past. Oh, they kept hitting boulders? Damn, so they just legit were hitting, like, just full-on rocky surfaces, and just couldn't get to him. Damn. So that was probably why, you know, it took so long, was just because of those boulders. Shit. Well, I mean, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, digging in ground, so you're not going to know where a boulder is. Can't exactly, you know, plan for a boulder being in the way. Or a bunch of boulders. I mean, it is a well. I guess that, you know, that would make sense. Because, I mean, all those boulders are probably, I kind of wonder why they didn't just drill another shaft next to that one. I mean, maybe they tried. Like, because they kept hitting so many boulders, you know, for going through, they probably were like, well, let's try to go this way. And they're like, oh, well, more boulders. This way, more boulders. And it's like, well, okay, we just got pushed through. Fuck it. We already made progress with these boulders, so we'll just keep pushing through these boulders. And given the limited time, they did what they could in front of their, with their front-end loaders. Yeah. I mean, it was just like a lot of time constraint shit and equipment, really, it seemed like. Like, I mean, they were sponsored by, like, you know, cat end loaders, but not really, like, you know, drillers and shit like that, you know, that can really get deep down and break down a bunch of boulders and stuff. I mean, I imagine they don't just have, like, easy access to just grab one of those, you know, from the other side of town and just, you know, like, roll it over there and, you know, get it ready to go and shit. They probably had to, like, you know, get one contracted and then get one sent over to, you know, Morocco, and then sent, you know, to port, and then move it over to where the well was, and then get it operational. But then you have to have crew that knows how to operate the damn thing. They're full of drilling equipment. Yeah, it's Texas. Yeah, there's like oil fields, fucking, you know, all sorts of drilling equipment out there, mines, all sorts of shit. And if it ain't that specifically, there's manufacturers and factories that are building shit for that. Like, I mean, at least in the area that my family's around, there's legit, like, a lot of different cement factories, like, steel mill plants and shit that make a lot of different products, or at least a lot of different equipment and different things that a lot of these cement plants make and shit. So, I mean, as weird as Texas is with a lot of shit, there is actually kind of a strange, like, local eco, you know, type of thing going on, like a little local economy with different people there. Because you'll get, like, you know, they're probably owned by bigger corporations, obviously, but, you know, you get, like, this little steel mill plant that'll say, like, Johnson Steel Co. or some shit, but, you know, below it, it might say, like, you know, owned by blah, 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 you know, but nonetheless, it's still ostensibly owned and autonomously ran by, you know, whoever still owns the place. I mean, I don't know. I drive past them. I don't really know much about what's actually going on with them, but I'm just, yeah, just taking a guess. I mean, hell, my cousin's got like a steel sheet metal type of, like, company that he has. It's kind of like a little startup, but he has, like, his own little shop and everything. What the fuck? One of my bosses referred to trans people as shapeshifters. I always thought that sounded awesome. Really, that's cool. Yeah. He's the same one that owns steel fabrication. I think so. Actually, I remember when I was over at his ranch recording a video of his bowl. He had his company shirt on. I'm actually gonna try to find that video real quick because then I can see what it is specifically. Obviously not saying the name of it, but just at least checking it out for my own. Because I'm pretty sure he has his name on it and all that, but... Welding. Welding and metal building and fencing and shit like that. At least that's what it says on the back of the shirt. So, yeah, a lot of metal work, welding. So, yeah, seems like it. This bull is a weird little hard ass. Not as aggressive as I initially was thinking, but he definitely had a little bit of a temperament. Is it weird? I actually was kind of like, I wonder what happens if he were to like ram me and I just got launched in the air. Like a part of me was just like, huh. It's like, I wonder how that'd be like. Spicy. Yeah, I mean, overall, I don't want to actually have that happen, but, I mean, a part of me, you know, in the moment's like, I wonder what would happen, you know, it's like, I mean, it'd probably be, like, fun for, like, 2 seconds being flown in the air, but then, like, the whole, like, getting rammed and probably trampled probably sounds horrible. Because they don't just ram, they also trample, too, so it's like, yeah, no, I don't need that. And he got even more, like, and he got exceptionally temperamental whenever we got near one of the female cows a little bit. Because just like, get away from my woman. Get away from my women. How dare you? Oh, I got a comment reply on one of my comments from a while back. I said, I love ponchos, they're dope, and indeed manly as fuck. It's someone's just like, ponchos are cultural appropriation. My god. What's this person's PFP? It's not even like theirs. Or like the person. It's just like some random like model or something. Boner petite. Boner petite. I don't think you have any right to claim what is cultural appropriation and what isn't cultural appropriation there, buddy. And they're fucking ponchos. Like, what the fuck? Does this person know that there's also, like, European-style ponchos? Like, huh? I mean, what do you think, like, a Viking dude wearing, like, a gigantic fucking, like, wolf pelt over their body would be like? It's just like a poncho, but it's like a furred one. Like, I mean, huh? I really hate that, like, like, when it comes to, like, the weird cultural stuff like that, at least the left side of it that I really hate is to, like, oh, that's cultural appropriation. It's like, what? I mean, there's, like, there's, like, a indigenous, like, little shop on Etsy that's, I think, based in New Mexico, and they make all sorts of different, like, ponchos and all sorts of other stuff, and it's like, there's people of all sorts of stripes and colors and shit, and backgrounds that buy their stuff and, like, post pictures of them wearing it, you know, in their reviews, and they love it. Like, just because, like, hey, people appreciate our, you know, work, considering it's all handmade, too, and are buying it. It's like, would that be fucking cultural appropriation? Because literally, no, it ain't. Like, those people literally appreciate people buying their stuff, regardless of who they are. So it's like, huh? I hate people like that. It's like, shut up. It's like, ponchos are cultural appropriation. We'll culturally appropriate these nuts, bitch. Like, it's like Crimea River. It's like I don't get butthurt whenever, like, people have, like, Celtic or, like, Norse things on their, like, tattoos or some shit, or, like, a pendant or something, and they happen to obviously not look white or something. I couldn't care. It's like, okay. They probably thought it looked cool. So, and that's usually why I, will probably get something like a poncho, because they look cool and they're comfortable, at least when it comes to ponchos, and keep you warm. It's like a blanket with a hole in the middle of it. That's essentially what it is. Because unlike the Patriots onion nuggets that the FF did, because TJ was sick, he had a poncho, got to keep himself warm and comfortable while being sick with COVID. And at the beginning of it, he was talking about how, like, yeah, these ponchos are, like, that's pretty awesome and shit. And they had, like, a little tangent about it. And TJ was saying, it's like, ponchos are kind of, like, manly and stuff. I mean, they kind of look like they would be, like, feminine or whatever, but they're actually kind of manly, because you got, like, No Country for Old Men, no Country for Old Men, but, Good, Bad, and Ugly. You got, like, fucking, Man with No Name. Why did I say No Country for Old Men? What the fuck? But, either way, it's like, you get all these, different, like, westerns, and he's, like, badass fucking, like, banditos, or fucking, outlaws and shit, and they're always got one. But it's kind of true, though, a little bit. Especially in the Wild West, like, I mean, ponchos are great, like, if you think about it, because during dusk, or once it's nighttime, and especially when it's, you're in, like, the hot plains or some shit like that, during night, it's gonna get cold as fuck, so having a little poncho to keep yourself warm, set up, like, your little sleep bag, little tarp, like a little tent, like a little poncho, it's like a little blanket, hell yeah. I mean, it's like they're utilitarian as fuck. It's like saying, for, like, some nightwear, you have, like, a, Chinese style, or, like, in, Asian style, like, silk robe or something, because you want it to, because you have it for comfortability, and it looks stylish, and you like it. It's just like, that's not really, it's like the same thing there. I just hate the cultural appropriation shit so much. It's so dumb. It really is. Especially when it comes to, like, benign shit, like dreads and shit like that. Because, like, no one, like, literally nobody owns dreads. Like, that's just a human thing. Like, if I didn't brush my hair at all and just left it to, just to do whatever it does, it would just be one amalgamated dread. Straight up. And then you might get, like, a bunch of mini dreads, like, here, maybe up here, maybe, like, here, and it all connects to, like, some weird amalgamation back here. Like, it'd just be, like, some weird-ass, like, super dread. Like, I mean, but that's just if I just decide to let it do whatever, It's like, would that somehow be appropriation? No. I mean, it's really silly. Like, the only time I could really see something being, like, cultural appropriation is if you got, like, like a group or a person that's, like, that looks at something. Like, like curry, for example, if, like, England or some shit. And they're like, nope, this is ours now. We actually have curry, and we're the ones who, invented this dish. It's like that, I can kind of see, be like, alright, yeah, you're just trying to appropriate, like, a food, as literally your own. So, like, you can take that and maybe, create, like, something, like, new and your own from it, but you can't just say that in itself is your own. Like, I mean, curry is a, specific type of dish that's, like, made in specific regions and shit, but it's like that's something you can make anywhere and everywhere, essentially, at this point. But it's not, like, an England dish. But, like, but a lot of people in England love it. Obviously, but some people think it's probably, like, legit an English dish or some shit when it literally isn't. I mean, that, I could see it, but even then, it's like, it's not, like, really a fundamentally harmful thing at the end of the day. Like, it's, I mean, yeah, it's, saying that, like, curry, like, is, like, some British cuisine or some shit like that, considering it's just such a popular thing over there, is, like, It's a little lame, I guess, but whatever. They like curry. I mean, curry's good. I mean, what do you want? I don't know. Like, curry is legitimately delicious. Like, it, so... I mean, there's a reason why people like it. So, I don't know. Just, like, even where there is, like, some legitimacy to it, like, I can't... Like, I find it hard to just be like, nah, how dare they, about it. Because at the end of the day, it just seems so benign. It's like, okay. I mean, culture evolves and adapts all the time. I mean, what do you want? It's like 1,000 years ago, like, your culture probably was fundamentally different to what it is today. So it's like, would that somehow be appropriation because it's different now? And totally changed? Like, it's just so stupid. That dog is knocked out. I'm just staring at this whole Charlie Cook clip thing. Oh, I actually do want to hear it a little bit. I want to hear his weird-ass take. Why is it so quiet? What the fuck?
Talking about this.
Okay, here we go.
So this is from Jason Campbell. He really posts all the greatest hits from conservatives. So Charlie Kirk warns the transgender movement is an introductory phase to get you to strip yourself of your humanity to mesh with machines, adding, if you stop being a man, then maybe you could stop being a human being. Is it just me?
Huh?
I feel like conservatives are always threatening us with a good time.
I know, like, damn, based. Like, we start becoming, like, machine hybrids and shit. We're becoming, like, transhumanists, not just transgender. Based. Like, I'm an advocate for this type of futurism. Where we can have, like, whatever we want to modify ourselves, if, like, nanobot, like, cyborg tech and shit. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. Let's go. I love conservatives, dude. They really do, like, so many of them will, like, scaremonger stuff and then just tease us with a good time. It's like, bruh, why? Why you do this? It's like, man, it does make me wish that some of them, of their conspiracies and their, like, claims and fear-mongering is true. Like, I really do wish that. Because if it was, then, like, this timeline wouldn't suck as much. Like, it'd actually be kind of cool, but no, unfortunately, it's not. We just... I mean, I wish it was, though, like, like, oh my god, Biden and Kamala are trying to enact the communist agenda. The Bolsheviks are rising again with the deep state. George Soros, that socialist communist, is fucking taking over. Like, I wish, like, honestly, I bet there is a timeline out there where that is actually the case. Like, in some multiverse out there, that probably is legitimately the case. And I wish I was in that timeline. Oh my god. Oh, it'd be beautiful.
We have to listen to what he has to say to get the full context, but I would absolutely love nothing more than to be part robot. That would be awesome. If we could upgrade ourselves in some way, I think that'd be great.
Hell yeah,
I feel
dude.
like as human beings, we are flawed. We could use an upgrade. I mean...
Imagine having, like, a cyborg nanobot spine. That'd be, like, Ubermensch levels of, like, awesomeness right there. Where it's like, hey, human spines are pretty valuable as fuck and, kind of broken as fuck. And are, or easily broken. It's like, let's replace that bitch, with an epic ass, like, cyborg nanobot fucking, spine and shit. Like a nano spine, dude. Where it's, like, 100 times stronger than, a regular human spine. It, doesn't have, like, any of the fucking problems of a human spine, all that shit. Boom. Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, Charlie.
Hole to breathe and eat with, which means we could potentially die if we get choked. Even dolphins have a separate eating hole and a separate breathing hole. That should be part of our upgrade. On top of that, I feel like we should do...
Well, wait. Separate. I mean, don't we do that technically? It's just that the separate holes happen to be like back here. Like, it's way back in here. Like the divergence is like right all up in there, and you know, and yeah, that I would imagine that is a little bit of a flaw. Like you would want like maybe like, you know, the breathing, you know, to be maybe be here and like, you know, here from above instead of like, I don't know, like they're evolutionarily like we're not built good.
Our bladders last longer. If he's serious about this, then I don't know why somebody wouldn't want this future. Who wouldn't want to live in a sci-fi future where we're kind of part robots? I think that would be fucking amazing.
Based.
So let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, lay it on me, bro.
Go a level deeper, but you guys are smart, you'll get it. The transgender movement actually matters even more than biomedical fascism, and they actually are together because...
Bio what? Bio what fascism? What? What did he say?
Go a level deeper, but you guys are smart, you'll get it. The transgender movement actually matters even more than biomedical fascism, and...
Biomedical fascism? Biomechanofascism? What? I'm still stumped on what he said in the middle. Biomedical? Biomedical fascism? Like, what? What is that even?
Because the transgender movement is an introductory phase to get you to strip yourself of your humanity to mesh with machines.
That sounds incredible.
Based.
And I love the implication.
Wait, so hold on. What about like people who are amputees and stuff? Because there's some people who have like straight up like robotic synthetic arms and legs and shit like that, where it's like there's legit like kind of robot electrical like connections to the nervous system and shit, where they can actually control it, you know, based on their like nerve system communicational like shit. I mean, that's already like, you know, beginning to the same stuff. Like, what about those people? Are they just different? Like, why is the trans people specifically that, you know, are the main pioneers of this? I mean, it's like, I mean, they are in a lot of ways, but so are people, you know, when it comes to, I mean, you know, not intentionally, but, you know, when it comes to people who happen to be amputees because of the different research and development that comes into prosthetics. I mean, so it's like, huh? Like, is it just like trans people that happen to be, you know, impacted by this type of thing, or like influencing this? Because methinks not. I would think that, you know, while they are a player in this, you know, in the advancement of this type of research and development and this type of tech, I don't think they're the only ones. I think there's probably some other aspects, you know, that are, you know, advancing that type of research and development to those technologies.
If you're trans, you're somehow less human. What? He is so fucking stupid.
Transhumanism. They want you to say, okay, well, I can choose any gender. Why can't I just have like an exoskeleton of some sort of machine around me?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, dude. Charlie, stop being based. What the hell? Yeah, why not? Like, get rid of my skeleton and, like, replace it with, like, some crazy-ass, like, you know, nano, like, you know, transhumanist skeleton that, you know, is connected to, like, some exosuit and shit. Fuck yeah, bro. Dude, like, give it to me. Give it to me, Charlie. Like, why is it, like, they tease us of good time like this? I mean, man, I wish our reality was like, you know, well, I guess in this case it is a little bit, but it's just a very slow, excruciating process when it comes to the technology. But it's just like, I mean, so much so it probably won't happen in our lifetimes or, you know, the next 2 or 3, potentially. I guess, you know, depending how far humanity makes it. But it's just like, I mean, all in all, I mean, where in any of it, like, I mean, all I know is that I know what side he'd be on. Like, it feels like the Deus Ex fucking reality. he wouldn't be a part of the augments. He would definitely be one of the people in the resistance movements against him, rising up against their shit and fighting back. Like, he'd be one of those people. He'd be like a general trying to lead against the augments and the nano transhumanist like tech and all that shit.
Be dope. I would love that. Fuck yeah. If I could have a mech suit or something, or a fucking I don't know, robot arm.
Hell yeah.
Why not? Why is that so bad? It's not true. Like, he's trying to fearmonger here, but his fearmongering just sounds like a really cool sci-fi future.
It does. I mean, that we could have. Like, what's so wrong with this? Like, what's wrong with this, Charlie? Why are you freaking out like this is a bad thing? This is awesome. I mean, I've always been an advocate for it. I unironically fucking advocate it. Like, just straight up. He's fear-mongering about it, but basically saying it like I would advocate it. Because, yeah, to a certain level, and I'm sure, maybe not all trans people, I'm sure some of them might, may agree. It's like, yeah, a lot of, what we're doing, will eventually lead to more research and development to, like, transhumanist, tech and development. It's like, I mean, as more and more, when it comes to, transitional surgeries and shit like that, it becomes more, essentially unnoticeable, basically, or just like, so advanced to where it could be pretty much like a total replacement, and it'd be like, that's just, who you were born as or whatever the fuck, outside of, other slight variables. But it's just like, I mean, as that becomes more of a reality, as time goes on, the more that, this type of shit when it comes to, just transhumanism in general, becomes more of a reality. Because, it just with, like, nanobot technology alone, that could potentially, create a mass, advancement into, like, what can be done, not just, in the medical field, but recreationally. Because, like, there could be potential production of, like, biological nanobot, splice type of, like, organs and shit that, are significantly more reliable and longer lasting in comparison to just regular organic organs, and be able to, have those as transplants. I mean, that would, be just another slow step, getting into that. But once we start getting into shit like that, I mean, I think, that type of technology, especially transhumanism, is just going to start advancing significantly from there.
Mongering.
This is what Meta is about, the metaverse, kids staring at screens.
The metaverse is a fucking marketing ploy by Facebook to sell
I like it. Oh my god, I love it. The metaverse.
VR headsets. But nobody's going to buy that. No,
it doesn't want to I mean, exactly.
Going to buy the headsets, but nobody's going to buy into this hype of the metaverse. What a simpleton.
This is documented, this is proven, this is where Silicon Valley is going. This is why they're so insistent on this transgender thing, because if you stop being a man, then maybe you can stop being a human being. Maybe you can kind of just plug into some sort of machine. This is where their control, their profit motive is coming down the stream. There's a ton of literature about this. I'm far from the first person to comment on it, but I'm just kind of connecting the dots.
Name the literature. I would love to explore this idea that being transgender is a gateway into being cyborgs. Does anyone...
I mean, like, what's some of the literature? The literal script to fucking Terminator Salvation? where the dude, becomes a Terminator because he was, like, signed into, like, a program or some shit. This is like, what? Nobody wants to wear shit.
During the gay marriage debate...
So stupid goggles, glasses, watches, implants, helmets, bodysuits, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like... It's so mad. I mean, it's just so... like, annoying to me, because, like... What would be different things, like... tools, or, things like glasses or contacts and shit. Like, these aren't transhumanists, but these are, like, a little bit, of, like, an addendum or attachment or an extension, for us to better our own abilities and shit. It's like, just extrapolate that, and it's basically the same, type of shit when it comes to, you know, like, when it comes to, like, transhumanist tech. So, it's like, if we're gonna be so averse, you know, to the, like, this type of shit, then it's like, why wouldn't we, you know, just say that with, like, glasses or, you know, all these other things? Keep a modicum of separation between tech toys and reality. Well, I guess maybe that's just a little bit of a, you know, difference in, you know, maybe in generational culture about it, maybe. Because, at least for me, like, I'm definitely, you know, kind of see, you know, see a lot of excitement when it comes to, you know, transhumanism and, like, the advancement of that type of, you know, technology and, you know, kind of an implementation or a blend of the both, you know, coming together. Because in a way, like, you know, to some extent, you know, it could possibly, you know, even be a lifesaver for our own species, too. Because of, you know, climate change, you know, especially as it stands now, you know, is, you know, continuously significantly getting worse, like, it could potentially be a way to, at least means to help make ourselves a little bit more sustainable for, you know, the inevitable environments we're going to have to be living in, you know, with these different changes. So, I mean, you know, there could be, you know, some more utilitarian means, you know, when it comes to transhumanism, outside of just recreation, like having someone have, like, you know, a transhumanist, like, nano implants where they have, like, you know, like a furry, like, tail and fucking, you know, and all this other shit, you know, like, you know, the ears and, you know, whatever. But, yeah, then, you know, for a lot of others, you know, there might just be more of that utilitarian sense where you have just different, tech in your body where it helps, oh my god, what did Joe Rogan do? That's the second notification within a minute about that fucker. But, like, you know, I mean, I don't know, at least when it comes to the whole climate change element, I do see, like, you know, potential of utilitarian use for it, just for our own survivability. Some amount have/haves nots and waste, yeah. I think, at least when it comes to, like, androids and, like, sentient AI, that's kind of discussed a little bit in Detroit Become Human, the PS3, PS4 game. Or PS4 game, specifically. I feel like we're, you know, trying to work out our problems and throwing the internet at it. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not necessarily saying throw the internet at it. I mean, because I honestly definitely want to actually try to solve issues and shit. And at least when it comes to transhumanism, at least, like I'm saying, you know, hypothetically, I can see, you know, some utilitarian and survivability means, you know, into implementing it. Outside of just the recreational stuff. I mean, the recreational part is just more of the freedom of expression and wanting, you know, see people just be able to have that ability to just, like, hey, this is who I am, and I want to just be that. Fuck it. You know, just go for it. You know, because obviously, you know, my, you know, I guess utopian world would be, you know, like a, you know, where people have, you know, have those opportunities and be able to, you know, express how they wish and have the technology and means to do so. Applies a lot of other things. Well, yeah, like, I mean, you know, it's going to imply a bunch of other different variables and different things, but that's just a general gist. They live in, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's like, you know, in my hypothetical, like, in the utopian world, that's why I'm, you know, saying that's, you know, inside that, you know, I'd ought, you know, to see and advocate for. But obviously, you know, that's not necessarily going to be the case, or is, or honestly probably will, but doesn't mean you can't, you know, push and advocate for that either way. Because even if we don't necessarily get that, I mean, getting, you know, steps closer to it is better than, better not, so. But, I mean, I feel like there will probably be, you know, different, like, significant, like, events potentially in our future that could, make us, have like a maximization of an egalitarian style society. Maybe like not necessarily, like a photocopy of Star Trek, obviously, but something akin, to that type of society, potentially. But, one thing to note, even for that world, of Star Trek and shit, is like there was a lot of bloodshed and wars and strife and suffering that was going on, just before Zach and Coffin went into warp. Because that was essentially the main key event and catalyst that unified humanity, at least in that timeline. So, I mean, even given my, probably more optimistic, hoity-toity futurist ideas and shit when it comes to, where humanity ought to be and push for. I mean, even in, like, some of the sci-fi we have, in our own reality and shit, where some of it does, kind of get built off of and influenced by, I mean, even those, were built off of, all sorts of bloodshed and strife. Because I think even Gene Roddenberry understood that. It's like, in order to potentially get to something like that, there's just, unfortunately, going to be a lot of bloodshed, strife, and conflict. And, because there was also, before going to warp, there was a war between augmented humans and non-augmented humans with Khan. I mean, so it's just like, there, even, like, honestly, in some way, maybe we might be, some of this type of, stuff about, like, sci-fi, like Deus Ex, Fallout, Star Trek, like, they honestly legit might be a little, like, it might be a little bit weird to see how, like, art is actually kind of imitating, life a little bit, but life is just having to catch up. I mean, it's just kind of interesting, because, I guess that's just because, life is just imitating the art that we've created. Well, I guess a little both. Why do you prove it? Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely do. Like, honestly, I think one way to get, quicker to this type of idea is to be proven wrong about a lot of my cynicism and skepticism about, like, especially national politics, for example. There's definitely a lot of things I like to be proven wrong about, too, but, I mean, sadly, I feel like I just get more proven right with some of these things. It's just like, oh my god. Because then it just, I mean, like, it definitely, like you're saying, it's like, the hang on to the hope. It's like, I definitely, still do, because there's still, especially right now, there's definitely a lot of stuff to, look up to and shit. I mean, like the, labor militancy that's been on the rise, like, legitimately a lot of people just acknowledging and being fed up with the general paradigm as it is, not just here, but globally. There's been, an all-time distrust in, governments and politicians just in different countries. which I personally think is overall a good thing. I mean, I saw a video of, like, some press that went to Russia, talking to different Russian citizens about this Russia-Ukraine shit, and they're all like, yeah, this is kind of bullshit. I mean, I remember one dude saying, it's like, I see Ukrainians as brothers, like, I don't, there's no reason for us to be antagonistic with them, so it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you there either, in a sense. Yeah, at least when it comes to, just, the context of, seeing it from his perspective. So it's just like, I mean, there's definitely some stuff to look up to, be like, alright, like, despite the bullshit, it's not, everything's not, like, obviously terrible and shit. It's just, like, a lot of things, especially when it comes to, like, geopolitics and, international and national news, there's, like, the stuff that's negative is always going to be the shit that's pushed up front. Like, there's always going to be, like, oh, this person, got killed, or this person, fucking, had this happen, or, mass, like, flash robberies, happened in this town, or blah, blah, blah. It's always going to be shit like that. But then, outside of it, like, if you look past that type of shit, there's legitimately stuff that is honestly, positive. Like, there is actually some good stuff to, see. Whereas press takes people out their word far too often, there's no reason to lend them even an iota of credibility. Exactly. because they only really care about the views, you know, so that's why they'll always just kind of push up, you know, a lot of negative type of news or just bad news, and, you know, just take things at face value and just let people kind of figure it out themselves. But, I mean, that's not done by accident. That's, you know, they purposely are like that, because it keeps people more distracted and more divided on shit. Capitalistic journalism, yep. Journalism. Like, if, you know, more journalists were like Jordan Sheridan from Status Quo, like, there actually could be a respect given to journalism in this country, but there's a reason why they come few and far in between, unfortunately. Because they don't make the big bucks. I think that makes it the most frustrating. Makes me stress so many people. Just admit that they like how sleazy they are because they support your ugliness. Or they like how easy they are because they support... Yeah. I mean, I think people kind of unknowingly do that because they're like, yeah, this person is against abortion, or this person is against immigration, or this person is against, you know, just that other group, you know, or against guns, or this or that, blah blah blah. And it's just like, you know, and there's just, you know, especially when it comes to that hyper tribalistic mindset, there's just a lot of toxic feminist spew that comes out from shit like that. And yeah, it's like, and yeah, honestly, most people just don't want to admit, like, yeah, I just like being part of this tribe. I mean, I think if most people were just kind of being able to admit that, you know, I feel like, you know, there would be a little bit more, I guess, like, less hyper-antagonistic division, and just a little bit more just like, I know where you stand, so at least, you know, there ain't no beating around the bush and trying to, like, you know, call you out for being dishonest, or, you know, like, get thwarted into thinking that you're on my side or this side or whatever the fuck. I mean, honestly, none of that should be, like, the fucking end-all be-all. Like, I mean, when it comes to, you know, knowing, like, you know, going into discussions with people anyway. Like, I mean, despite my, at least right now, real strong criticisms and problems of Vashev as a strong warmongering and kind of backpedaling, too, with the fucking, his Russia-Ukrainian takes and shit. I mean, it's like, I mean, I'll still listen to him and agree with him on some other stuff, you know, and shit. I mean, I kind of saw, like, a couple minutes of his reaction to, like, this one dude named, I forgot what the dude's name, like, Doomer Pill or Doomer Philosophy or some shit? I don't even know. But the guy was basically, like, an utter smug elitist scumfuck. And, like, and legitimately, like, it's just a terrible fucking horrible person. And it was, like, some dude, Hakeem, I think. And, I mean, I don't know who any of them are, but I was kind of listening to a little bit of it, and Vosh was obviously just laying out the takes pretty, you know, correctly and accurately when it comes to, you know, especially the other dude, like, Doom or whoever. Like, it was, you know, because he was just like, why don't, you know, just homeless people get jobs and stuff, and, you know, they just pull themselves up by brute. It's just basically shit like that. I'm just, like, legit a terrible person. But, you know, it's like, I can easily agree with him on there, but still vehemently disagree on another issue, but it's not because there's, like, some tribalistic thing to it. Like, that, to me, that's all kind of secondary. Like, I could still meme and fuck around with, you know, Vosh and his little community or whatever the fuck, but still, you know, look at Vosh and be like, alright, I can still agree with you on some of these things and disagree with you on some other shit. But he just needs to, like, I mean, at least for him, he just needs to, like, quit thinking that, like, you know, being hyper, at least rhetorically, antagonistic to the point he sounds like a fucking neocon, you know, about Russia and shit, you know, it's not exactly, like, what normally I would think of what leftists do, because usually leftists are not exactly pro-war. So, just, like, it doesn't seem just, like, you know, disagreeing, but also a little contradictory considering his, you know, his other positions about things. I know what's going to take to get people to admit their racist, xenophobic, tribalist, agonists of hiding behind religion and dishonest politicians. What will it take? I mean, I know a lot of it, comes from contact theory. It's sometimes just kind of like talking to some of these, people in various different ways, because they have various different, spectrums of, belief when it comes to that type of shit. Because I definitely know some people who, on the face of it aren't necessarily like xenophobic, but, might have, like more negative positions about like immigration and shit, but don't necessarily see people who are Hispanic, as bad people. They just are like warped into that whole like, oh, we need to have strong borders, blah blah blah, and all that bullshit, because that's what makes a stronger, better country or something. So it's like they get warped into that type of shit. So at least for people like them, or at least kind of within that realm of the, that type of shit. I mean, it's a little easier, I would think, because it's just, more so just having a couple back and forths and a couple conversations. But for the extremists and shit, I don't know. Like, I mean, like the Proud Boy types, or like, the far-right militant types. I mean, there is a reason why, TFG is a term. Like, there are people that are just legit too far gone. Like, I was looking at, it reminds me of Kitchen Nightmares, of the episode with Amy's Baking Company, because honestly, oh my god, Sweet Baby Ray's, like, oh man, these two people were a gem, because these two people were honestly just fucked up pieces of shit, and were literally delusional and out of touch with reality, could not take any criticism, will literally fight with people. And like, just crazy shit. And Gordon's all, trying to get him a reality check, and even Gordon couldn't fucking do it. Like, not even him. It's just like, I mean, because they were so fucking devolved from reality and shit. And also there was like, in the baked goods that they had was actually not even theirs that they made. Like, they bought them from another bakery that was selling them cheaper, and then sold them at a higher price, and basically price gouged, different goods that were already from another bakery. Because their kitchen didn't have anything that was related to baking in there. So that was kind of a key, like, weird. And then later, from what I found out, the police actually found out about that because of the show, and shut them down for it. And apparently, Sammy, the husband to Amy, or whatever the fuck, got deported, and Amy went with him to Israel, where now they both are living at, trying to start up their shit over there. It's just like, and they're still exactly the same, too, from what I understand. It's just like, of course, honestly, like, that's just what I, see out of that. It's like, of course, they're so fucking insane, delusional, like, out of touch, and don't take any criticism. And I can absolutely guarantee you those fucking people have, like, some very strong, hardcore religious fundamentalism vibes, probably some xenophobic vibes. Well, honestly, guaranteed, especially if they're, like, if Sammy was Israeli, but they got deported there, and he was banned from Italy and France, apparently. So that dude has got a record. It's just like, oh my god. And it's like, honestly, there's just no help for someone like that. Just low-key, though. It's like, yeah. Like, because they're just because I see that, and I'm like, that's just, because it's a perfect object lesson of, like, while there's a lot of people that maybe on the face of it might act like that, you can potentially redeem them and give them the redemption arc, so to speak. But still, every now and then, you're just going to get one that's going to be like Sammy and Amy from Amy's Baking Co. And they're just not going to fucking budge on shit. And in fact, will lash out and attack you utterly. And, and go to the extreme to basically eliminate your attack. It's just like, oh, Sweet Baby Ray's. It's like, man. Now, because if you extrapolate that to just, more of the, just strictly political type of shit, when it comes to, like, some of these more, like, by the way, I guarantee you, Amy and Sammy are, like, hardcore Trump types, and Amy is guaranteed QAnoner. Just gonna say that right now. But like, I mean, but when it comes to those type of folks, though, it's just like, yeah, I mean, good chunk of them are just legit little TFG, and some of it might legit be because of like substance abuse and shit too. Because I know a lot of them are, you know, either alcoholics or addicted to opioids to some extent. You know, probably due to, you know, pain medication. I mean, there honestly is probably other variables that, you know, exacerbate that shit. And then there's definitely some mental illness, because some of these people legit might be like schizophrenic, you know, and shit like that. So, I mean, sometimes people are just too TFG and get kind of swooped into this type of shit, but it's not necessarily in their control just because of that shit. They're just they're just easily manipulative or manipulated, and easily kind of malleable and shifted into these different things because they're easily able to just kind of get hooked in. Because especially if you have like a mental illness that kind of exacerbates and enables a lot of those type of ideas and weird, you know, outlandish views and shit that are irrational on the face of it, then it just ends up reciprocating that cycle. So, I mean, it's just like that, which kind of leads to me, you know, thinking that mental health, you know, awareness and that, you know, being a major part when it comes to you know, healthcare in this country really needs, you know, to be important, because it could honestly help understand more why people are a little TFG the way they are. You know, because, you know, because I can't, you know, just believe that all of them were just okay hunky-dory people, and then Trump, and they're all like, you know, out of nowhere, they're all just like, you know, like QAnon fucking crazy extremists and shit. It's just like, not all of them. There's just, I just don't believe that, like, every single one of those motherfuckers, you know, just sort of out of nowhere, just like, yeah, we're fine, we're hunky-dory people, we're just kind of Republican a little bit, you know, and stuff like that. And then Trump's like, comes in, and they're all like, you know, it's like, I mean, there were people, for sure, that kind of devolved like that, but, like, I can't, not every single one. There definitely has to be other variables, at least for the extreme ones, you know, from that type of shit. Because there definitely were people that are like, you know, oh, I like Trump, blah, 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 but are just, like, face value, don't ever think about it, don't give a fuck about it. They're just like, yeah, Bill bad, ain't he bad, Trump good, yeah. Alright, I want to go back to my Red Robin and have myself a little bacon burger or some shit. It's like, I mean, they don't think about that shit, you know? So it's like, for them, I feel like they're at least more easily convincible. I mean, but they might just be stubborn just because they don't think about shit. So, just takes a lot of fucking just chipping at their fucking walls, basically. Breaking down the barriers, if you will. There he is. I kind of want to see what this whole Joe Rogan shit is here. What, a clip come out? Let's apologize again.
Say, I didn't watch the entire thing. I did watch like up to here, I think, and I thought it was pretty reasonable. I wanna play all of it though, and I want to talk about it as quickly as possible here.
Hello, friends.
Sweet. Where is he? Is he in a library?
I'm making this video to talk about...
Oh, fuck. Before I do that, though, I totally forgot to run the ad break. And for the record, like, you know, Ethan Klein has apologized for exactly a similar thing. You guys know this. I've defended him as well. I defend people that I disagree with or defend people that I agree with. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, if someone has demonstrated growth, if someone has already stopped and have personally rehabilitated, why the fuck am I going to constantly bring it up? Unless it's like relevant to the conversation. If Joe Rogan was still doing like hella racist shit right now, okay? If he was like constantly trying to dog whistle or be as racist
Wait, what did he say?
as possible against black people specifically.
What did he say
like,
this time?
you know, doing shit like that, okay? And that's when you bring up the old stuff that he did to be like, look, this is a long history of his racism. Then that's different. But for the most part, I don't think that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that he's like, I think that comment about Michael Eric Dyson and blackness during Jordan Peterson interview helped kick this off. That probably is a part of it. He's just a dumbass. Like,
racial slur? What is he? What? He said a racial slur? A video showed him repeatedly using the N-word on his podcast. And comparing a visit to a black neighborhood to being the movie Planet of the Apes. What? Oof. Twenty different occasions. Okay, so you go and hide how much of a tool you were / are for so long. Yeah, seriously. I mean, I guess like I'm not gonna say that like Joe Rogan's like racist now, but yeah, he was like, is he racially insensitive, especially then? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some oofiness, especially if you're comparing a black name. Yeah, that's like, I mean, that honestly, that specifically is definitely like some straight race shit there. But at least like, depending on like everything, like I'm assuming like any N-words using in that context was definitely, you know, some right shit. But like just saying it on the show, you know, like context at least matters, you know, for me, you know, so it's like, I wouldn't say like every single time him saying it is probably him being like, you know, he's bad, you know, like, he's just like, he's saying bad thing when he's probably just saying, you know, like a quote or something else, but, I mean, it's, like, I'm not gonna, like, go out of my way to try to defend his ass, because, like, he's a fucking dumb troglodytic dipshit. It's just trying to avoid due criticism. Yeah. I mean, basically. Not bad, you'd be favorite on a daily basis. That's kind of different. Yeah. I mean, especially when you have, like, a massive show where a lot of fucking people listen to you, there is a definite bit of a difference there in comparison to just, like, what I'm doing, you know, for example. You know, so it's like, I mean, you have to kind of, like, you know, think a little bit more about what the fuck you're kind of saying and shit. Even if, like, there is maybe some merit of context and shit. Like, you know, saying a quote or something. But considering the repeated uses and some of the shit that at least has, you know, seen some of the details of, I'm not exactly going to just sit there and be like, every single instance here, you know, needs to be heavily, like, looked over. Blah, 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 blah. What was I say about you? Yeah. I mean, honestly. Like, I want to, like... I mean, I've never said anything. Yeah, I mean, the whole, like, Planet of the Apes type of fucking comment, I can't even think of a context outside of fucking on Joe Rogan, or fucking on people that would make such jokes. You know, like, pretending to be, like, some, you know, dumb shit, like, you know, fucking far-right-winger being like, yeah, you got these goddamn Barlin basically overran by these foot bandits, fucking taper sons bitches, and they just burnt the shit down, just slaved all the way. Like, I mean, you know, like, I get, like, the only context I'm thinking of is in a mocking way, making fun of these dumbasses. Like, that's the only time I see it justifiable, is mocking their shit. And that's honestly where I think, you know, like where the context, things like that would matter, but it's Joe Rogan. He's not doing it in a mocking way. Or at least not in a way of mocking people that make jokes like that unironically. How does it not to be such... I mean, seriously. I mean, especially when it's just, over something like that, it's like, alright, there's many fucked up, those wrongs, man, bad, and, just admit to it, instead of being like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. It's like, just own your shit. As long as marketing is important to controversy content is being profitable, well, they're gonna get more of his own. Of course. That's why Spotify isn't, giving a shit. Aside from quietly taking out some of the videos and shit. That's about it.
Here, of Joe Rogan's, racism is, not the Joe Rogan's racism from 12 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like old, out-of-touch white guy racism, which is expected to some degree. It doesn't make it alright, doesn't make it appropriate, but,
Yeah, like racial insensitivity, basically. Where it's like they're not necessarily a racist, but they're just very racially insensitive and don't give a fuck about, just like that type of shit overall. Like, just Joe Rogan's definitely one of those types, and that's why he didn't give a shit about, making those type of fucking comments. I mean, it's because he just doesn't care. He would be one of those people who's like, well, I just don't say it. But then he'll make stupid comments like that. Like comparing black neighborhoods to fucking Planet of the Apes, but then he'll be like, well, those things are good. Well, it's a certain type of, how do you say, brutality? Bro mentality? Yeah. It's the brosif mentality. Brutality. Sounds more like brutality. Brutality.
And I don't think he's like that. I think he has actually gotten a lot better. But let's hear what he has to say.
Regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years. But
now.
This is...
Like, like, you could have made that a little better, it's just being like, considering, my positions now, I no longer believe these things, but there has been, these things that have surfaced, and this no longer represents what I believe, and it's fucked up that I said these things. Like, that would just be kind of coming up front with your shit. I took down the episode of that Robert Malone guy. Good. Like, honestly. I mean, basically all it just comes down to, I'm sorry I got caught. But, I mean, there's a way to where you could at least make yourself look at least a little better. But yeah, you're pretty much just kind of coming out from the start being like, I was kind of caught and I feel bad that I was caught. I'm sorry. Because now I no longer believe in that stuff. Now. It was banned for COVID. Yeah. My goodness. What a maroon. What a fucking troglodyte toolified maroon. Ugh. Disney contract. Oh my god. What the fuck is wrong with Why is this a thing? Disney condom drama. Why is that a thing that exists? I just, oh my god. Wow. Well, I was hoping today would have a little bow on it, but that didn't happen. It And now it's like notifications come out for some other stuff. It's just such the most randomest of shit. It's like, what the fuck, man? God damn it. Condom drama. Like, what is that? Like, why? Why? What? Is it just like an attempt for Destiny to stay relevant? Is he just like saying hot takes just for the sake of it? Like, what is with that weird condom drama? I'm not even kidding. Well, I guess it's... Whoa, that's loud. But yeah, I got a notification for this that just started from Xander Hall. Idubbbz versus Sam Hyde documentary and Jordan Peterson. Oh my god. The only thing that seems like it would be worth my interest is the Jordan Peterson thing. I'm aware of Sam Hyde, but he's just kind of a irrelevant Nazi dipshit. Yeah, I don't know what it is. So, this, it just feels weird saying it. It just feels weird saying it. Like, condom drama, dude. Like, that's just such a weird combination of words. Alright, that one's gonna perplex me for a little bit. I guess I'm gonna probably figure out what it is just to see what it's about. But, you know, no, I'm not doing that. Never mind. I don't want to get sucked in. I'm not getting sucked into that. No. Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, I just... It's not worth it. But anyway. It's 3 o'clock now. Yay! Alright, well, I'll get this last little bowl loaded up here. At least for right now. Head off to the grind, do my shift and all that fun shit. Oh, so exciting. Oh, so exciting. Then, bada bing, bada boom. Bada boom. And a diggity damn booty boo. Ooh, that was a good one. Ooh, spicy meatball. Spicy meatball. Damn. Anyway. Peace out, at least for now. Come back later tonight. All that fun shit. But of course,